You've been told countless times that you need to have a tripod for real estate photography. I mean, how else would you get stable shots without one? But what if I told you that over the last 2 years, I've shot over 2,000 homes and I've only used a tripod a handful of times? You probably think I was lying to you, right? Well, no, this is literally how I shoot all of my real estate photography. So how do I do it? I do it through a technique called handheld HDR, which is the same thing as normal HDR, except I'm just holding it in my hands instead of it being on a tripod. Now you're probably thinking that this goes against all of the principles that you've learned with real estate photography. And that's because it does. Typically, you would use a tripod and use a low ISO, that way your brackets line up perfectly and you have low noise in your images. And if you tried doing that handheld, it would turn out like garbage. But here's how I do it to make sure that my brackets line up correctly, and that way I have sharp brackets for the final image. Let's talk about the settings that I use in order to do handheld HDR. You're going to have to raise your ISO quite a bit. That way your shutter speed ends up being faster to eliminate the shake between brackets. Believe it or not, I actually start out at ISO 6400 and it goes up from there. Sometimes I'm actually shooting things at ISO 25,600. Now, obviously I try to keep it as low as I can just to keep the noise level down in the images. Now would be a good time to tell you that I do use a mirrorless camera, which is a Canon R6 that does handle higher ISO levels very well. This technique's not really going to work for you if you are on a DSLR, just because you're going to have way too much noise in your photos. So being at higher ISO levels, that lets my shutter speed be faster while I'm shooting my brackets. Typically my slowest bracket is at about 1/8 of a second. Now that sounds kind of slow, but all 5 brackets automatically taken at the same time takes under 1 second. So with this technique, I don't change my aperture at all. I still shoot at f8 for most everything with real estate unless it's detail shots. So doing handheld HDR allows me to be freed up away from a tripod, that way I can shoot faster and more efficiently. It has tremendously sped up how I shoot homes. Usually it only takes me about 15 minutes to get a house done, whereas normally it would have taken about 30 minutes. And I know that doesn't sound like a whole lot of time difference, but when you talk about multiple houses a day, it really does add up quick. However, this technique may not be for everyone, and here's why. You've got to have a steady hand. I mean, you have to be able to stay still during the brackets, that way it doesn't shake at all, that way you still have sharp images. Another reason this may not be for you is the fact that it is harder to get your compositions right the first time. Your verticals and your horizontals can become jacked up very quick if you're not careful. Luckily, I've got a pretty good eye for my verticals, and with enough practice, I've become really good at getting my shots very quickly. And honestly, just as a little secret, your verticals don't have to be dead on perfect every single time, just because you can fix it in post just by hitting auto in Lightroom, and that's usually going to fix it. Also, something worth mentioning is the fact that if you show up to a house without a tripod, agents may look at you a little sideways at first. And this is because if they've used other photographers in the past, they've probably all been using tripods for this. Luckily, over the past couple of years that I've been doing this technique, I've only been asked where's my tripod a couple of times. And when they ask this, I'll just tell them I'm a lot more efficient with that one and I can still get the same shots as if I was on a tripod. Ultimately, they only care about the final image and they're not going to care what gear you're using. So what do you think? Are you going to throw away your tripod now? Probably not, but it's still good to know that you can speed up your workflow if you wanted to by going handheld. Guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about real estate photography, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and follow along. That's all I have for now. I'll see you in the next one.